He was one of Hollywood's biggest stars, with blockbuster roles, an Academy Award, and a fortune worth over $150 million. But in just a few years, Nicolas Cage went from riches to financial ruin in one of the wildest celebrity spending sprees ever. In this video, we're uncovering how Nicolas Cage burned through $150 million, from exotic mansions to rare collectibles and bizarre purchases you won't believe. And trust me, one of his strangest buys will leave you shocked. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell, because in the world of fame and fortune, the wildest stories are often true. The Castle Collection obsession. Cage didn't just buy one mansion. He collected them like trading cards. He owned 15 homes simultaneously across the globe, including 2 castles in Europe. His crown jewel was a $25 million pyramid tomb in New Orleans, designed as his future resting place. He purchased Midford Castle in England and Schloss Niedstein in Germany, spending millions on renovations that never ended. Each property came with massive maintenance costs, property taxes, and staff salaries that drained millions annually. His real estate portfolio alone was costing him over $20 million per year just to maintain. Exotic car addiction. The actor's garage looked like a high-end dealership showroom. Cage owned over 50 luxury vehicles, including 9 Rolls-Royces, multiple Ferraris, and Lamborghinis. His most expensive purchase was a $450,000 Lamborghini that once belonged to the Shah of Iran. He bought rare vintage cars on impulse, often paying double their market value at auctions. Many of these vehicles sat unused in climate-controlled garages while continuing to depreciate. Insurance, storage, and maintenance for his car collection cost hundreds of thousands annually, turning his passion into a financial black hole. Bizarre collectible spending. Cage's collecting habits extended far beyond normal memorabilia. He spent $276,000 on a stolen T-Rex skull, which he later had to return to Mongolia. His comic book collection included rare Superman issues worth millions. He owned shrunken heads, medieval artifacts, and even tried to buy the Holy Grail. Cage purchased a private island in the Bahamas for $3 million, then spent millions more developing it. He bought Egyptian pyramids, meteorites, and allegedly outbid Leonardo DiCaprio for a dinosaur skull at auction. Financial mismanagement. Behind the scenes, Nicolas Cage's downfall was fueled not only by his own reckless spending, but also by the actions of those he trusted most. His longtime business manager, Samuel Levin, was later exposed for running fraudulent financial schemes that siphoned millions of dollars from celebrity clients, Cage included. Levin was eventually sentenced to prison for embezzlement, but by then, the damage to Cage's fortune was already done. Cage had given Levin power of attorney over his finances, effectively handing over total control. This blind trust meant Cage rarely, if ever, reviewed budgets, expenses, or financial statements. While his business manager quietly blew his accounts, Cage continued to live as though his income would never dry up. At his peak, the actor commanded $20 million per film, making him one of the highest-paid stars in Hollywood. But the staggering paychecks couldn't keep up with his spending. Mansions, luxury cars, rare collectibles, and bizarre purchases devoured his wealth faster than he could earn it. Tax troubles mount. The most crushing blow to Nicolas Cage's finances came when the IRS came knocking with a massive tax bill. Court records reveal that Cage owed more than $14 million in back taxes, interest, and penalties, a staggering sum that instantly put him in crisis. Much of the blame was directed at his financial team, who had failed to properly manage his tax obligations, while Cage continued his pattern of reckless spending on mansions, exotic cars, rare artifacts, and eccentric collectibles. As the debt mounted, the government moved aggressively to recover what was owed. The IRS placed federal tax liens on many of his properties, stripping him of financial flexibility and forcing him into a fire sale of assets. Homes that had once symbolized his wealth and success were auctioned off at well below market value, leaving him with little to show for his extravagant purchases. His prized collections, from rare comic books to luxury cars, were sold off one by one, often at steep losses. To make matters worse, Cage's legal battles only deepened the financial hole. He became embroiled in lawsuits against his former business manager, whom he accused of mismanagement, while simultaneously defending himself against creditors. The resulting legal fees added millions more to his debt pile, draining whatever income he was able to generate through acting roles. The downfall consequences. By 2009, Nicolas Cage's financial empire had completely unraveled, forcing him into a massive liquidation of nearly everything he owned. His once glamorous lifestyle, defined by castles in Europe, sprawling mansions across the US, fleets of luxury cars, and eccentric collectibles, came to a dramatic end. One by one, these treasures went to auction in what were essentially fire sales, where Cage was forced to accept a fraction of what he had originally paid. Properties such as his Bavarian castle, his Rhode Island mansion, and even his pyramid-shaped tomb in New Orleans were lost, along with his private island in the Bahamas. Priceless items he had collected, dinosaur skulls, rare comic books, and fine art, were sold off quickly, often for pennies on the dollar. The financial fallout left Cage with few options. To keep up with mounting tax debts and legal battles, he was compelled to take virtually any acting job offered, regardless of quality or budget. This led to a string of direct-to-video and low-budget films, a stark contrast to the blockbuster roles that had once made him one of Hollywood's highest-paid stars. His name, once synonymous with Academy Award-winning performances, became increasingly linked to his financial ruin and eccentric spending habits. Current recovery efforts. Today, Nicolas Cage remains one of the hardest-working actors in Hollywood, though for reasons far different than during the height of his career. After years of financial mismanagement, extravagant spending, and massive tax debts, Cage has taken on an extraordinary number of roles to rebuild his finances. Since 2010, he has appeared in over 30 films, many of them lower-budget or direct-to-video productions that paid only a fraction of the blockbuster salaries he once commanded. While some critics dismiss these projects as evidence of desperation, Cage continued to approach each role with his trademark intensity and professionalism, never foaming in a performance even for films with limited audiences. His relentless work schedule has allowed him to chip away at the mountain of debt he once faced, while at the same time forcing him to live a far more modest lifestyle than in his earlier years of excess. Gone are the days of castles, private islands, and dinosaur skulls, symbols of the lavish spending that contributed to his financial downfall. Instead, Cage is focused on steady work, disciplined repayment, and gradually rebuilding both his fortune and his reputation. From private islands to financial trouble, Nicolas Cage's downfall proves that even Hollywood's brightest stars can lose it all. Which of his outrageous purchases surprised you the most? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your reaction. If you enjoyed this celebrity money story, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves Hollywood drama. Until next time, stay curious, stay entertained, and never stop exploring the stories behind the spotlight.